The premier golf artist in the world has moved to the Pinehurst area. Her name is Cassy Tully. She's next on Paradise in the Pines. Welcome to Paradise in the Pines, a podcast about the people, places, and stories that make this the home of American golf. Brought to you by the Pinehurst Southern Pines Aberdeen Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Cassy Tully, welcome to Paradise in the Pines.
Thanks for having me. It's a joy to be here.
We finally got you to stay in one place. You're all over the place. Talk about your world travels and how you landed in Pinehurst.
Yeah, it's been a joy and a blessing to move to Pinehurst. As a golf artist and philanthropist, it's been a smart life decision. I have been traveling quite a bit. As much as I've been here since April, I actually have been traveling quite a bit for both private commissions, large, great, exciting golf commissions, and then a lot of philanthropy recently. So I'm pretty excited. How'd
you get started in being a golf artist? I mean, I know you went to art school, but how did you get out of that and go, you know what, I want to do golf?
Yeah, I'm traditionally trained. Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, but also did a thesis in Italy, contemporary art survey in New York, work at the Anderson Ranch out in Colorado, all before I was teaching at an art center, and then got a job outside of in Kohler, Wisconsin, as an assistant at a high-end interior design studio. And it was actually the sheep that led me to golf. How familiar are you with Whistling Straits?
I have not been there. I know a lot about it from articles, things. I have not actually played there, been there, but I hear it's spectacular. One of the best golf resorts in the country, if not the world.
It is. Yeah, God knew what he was doing when he placed me in Kohler, Wisconsin, because I got a number of commissions, mostly from the Golf Wives shopping in the shops of Wood Lake, for paintings similar to Whistling Straits that had the sheep grazing on the golf course.
Yeah.
So there's little black-faced sheep that have the little bells on them, and I got a private commission for a painting featuring the sheep, and then one thing led to another. I got a numerous amount of commissions, and then there was a long approval process, but I felt like I should reach out to Kohler Company for the branding relationship, and then also a profit share, because I'm a businesswoman, and if I'm selling something, even though I wasn't calling it Whistling Straits or anything, it definitely represented the course. And so, after a long approval process, I was able to start a retail relationship with Kohler Company, probably I think 2010, right before they hosted the PGA Championship there. So that's how I became a golf artist.
And is that how you got discovered? I mean, obviously now you're one of the most prolific golf artists in the world. And I'm aging myself here. I think about LeRoy Neiman. LeRoy Neiman was kind of like the guy back in the day in the 70s with the Olympics and everything that he did.
Yeah.
When I looked at some of your artwork, I was like, wow, she's like kind of like LeRoy Neiman.
Wow, you're very intuitive. So I actually assisted with his artwork at the 2012 Ryder Cup. And then I also created the official artwork for the Women's Open that year. And while working on going full-time as an artist and developing the Kohler relationship, my mentor was Jim Richardson, who I know we are in the homeland of...
He was a PGA chairman.
Yeah. So he was the 42nd president of PGA of America, but he was the one to approve my artwork from day one. And then also Josue Reyes, who has received numerous awards. He was the director of retail at Kohler and worked with me side by side over the years to develop a strong understanding of, growing as an artist, but also merchandise. Like, how do you create prints that a club can add into their retail program, or be at an affordable price point that they can work it into their offerings, like low minimums. And just, I really learned from the best in Kohler, and then also had the opportunity to not only paint for the American Club, Whistling Straits, Black Wolf Run, Riverbend, but then the Women's Open, PGA Championship, and then the Ryder Cup.
Describe your artist style.
Thank you. Ooh.
And then Dan has behind the camera there has some of your artwork that you've shared with us.
So my work has a three-dimensional surface. It's based on research I did in Italy of relief sculpting. So it's very representational, very colorful. I think bright colors make people happy. But then it has a sculptural surface where you want to reach out and touch it. I also use a little bit of iridescent and metallic paint to give a beautiful play of light. I love to surprise and delight people. And then I do use a little bit of sand, mostly for sentimental purposes, but I use a little bit of sand from the golf course in the paint. So, there's just a real close connection to the work. You want to reach out and touch it. And that's how you know you're looking at a Cassy Tully original, is it has that surface.
I'm looking at a painting of the Ryder Cup.
Yes.
And you talked about using sand. Can you actually see the granules of sand in the paint?
Yeah, it's bumpy. Yeah, and typically
okay.
I put the sand more now like where I sign the piece.
Okay.
Just because otherwise people get overwhelmed and they're like, "Where's the sand?" I'm like, "Well, look how bumpy it is, like where I sign it. Like that's where we put the sand in." And then the live paintings, especially at like this weekend, I was at Winchester Country Club in Virginia, painting live for Links to Freedom. Which is very near and dear to my heart, especially on Veterans Day, to be honoring our veterans. But the live paintings have become really popular.
I was going to ask you, I mean, it's pretty cool, and you don't see that very often. It's very dynamic, live, and people can kind of engage with it and see. And I guess I can ask you questions in the middle of that?
Oh, not only that. So I love engaging people in the creative process. Breaking down that barrier and letting them really feel like they could, be a part of it. So similar to at my studio, which, as you know, is opening in Aberdeen, right outside of Pinehurst here, you can come in and at the live paintings, you can see how I'm painting, but then I'll also ask guests, especially the honored guests. In this case, it was the soldiers that went through the program, if they would like to put a brushstroke on the canvas. 2 weeks ago, I was in Orlando at Stars and Pars, which is hosted by Travel and Leisure, and then it supports Give Kids the World Village. I think we just showed a picture of that with me in a sparkle dress with a little girl. She's actually a Make-A-Wish child, and during the live auction, and it gives me goosebumps to talk about, but the Make-A-Wish child, Annalise, she put a brushstroke on the canvas. She drew a little sunshine in the corner, and that to me was so impactful that, she had her hand in it as well, and it really captured like why I do what I do in terms of using my talent to give back. And that one raised substantial funds that night. I think we raised $30,000 for the Give Kids the World Village.
I think doing the research, you started around 2008. So how fast did your business grow from, you started Kohler there locally, I guess, and now, I mean, you're traveling the world. I mean, how long did it take to build this business, build the following, and get to the point where you're the premier golf artist in the world?
Yeah, well, my parents have been my mentors since day one. My father actually passed unexpectedly a couple years ago. So now my tenacity, I think, is really grounded in a desire to live out his legacy and to continue to make him proud, as well as my mother, who's, been my champion since day one. But as my dad would always say, you just plant one seed every day. And, sometimes things will bubble up that, were from 5 years ago that you didn't even realize. I have definitely seen an uptick instantly since moving to Pinehurst. The ability to travel here, I met Louise Ball this weekend, and we became fast friends, knowing she's the president-elect of the LPGA and living here, and she really got to see me do what I do best at a fundraiser. So it's amazing. I have friends now from Germany, Michael, who wrote an article for me, but he travels here often. So, it's almost like going to the PGA show every day. Like, people come here. There's such an abundance of golf. I just can't imagine the folks that you have all interviewed and, 65 episodes, and you've got 40-some golf courses here. You're going to be busy for a long time.
We are the home of American golf, and I say this all the time. This is a magical place. What made you choose Pinehurst? Of all the places and golf destinations that you could have possibly lived, why was Pinehurst the location for you?
Right. Golf. number one. But the decision-making process kind of, I was in a position to move and looking at my career long-term and making that really, diving in deep and deciding, I'm going to really do this wholeheartedly from now until forever. But a couple key factors were a friend that, piqued my interest in moving here. I had, I pray to Jesus twice a day, and he said move to Pinehurst. But my family friends, Greg and Melissa Ohlendorf. Greg has played golf at the top 100 courses in the world, top 50 classic and top 50 modern courses, and then wrote a book called Global Golf Travels. They are my mentors, and of all those places, they have a home here. And Pinehurst also had reached out to me. LinkedIn is my strongest platform. I have like 27,000 amazing golf connections on there. But I had started talking with Pinehurst a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when I came here for a visit, just to, see, I found my storefront. And for the first decade of my business, I had a storefront outside of Kohler, and I loved it. When my dad passed unexpectedly, I did decide to move to Florida to be closer to my mom and close the store. Yeah. So I have pretty much the exact footprint I had outside of Kohler. So my studio is in Aberdeen. It's 10 minutes from Pinehurst. It's a former art studio and framing shop next to a wine bar, which for my patrons that have known me forever, I mean, right. that's Cassy's studio. And I walked in and I still get goosebumps. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get my store back. So I'm so blessed. I really missed having a store, and I'm not there all the time,
right.
Obviously traveling quite a bit. So it's open by chance or appointment. If I'm there and the open sign's out, please stop in, especially if I'm in the window painting. I'd love for you to come see what's on the easel.
You talked about Pinehurst. I mean, it seems only natural that at some point you would paint something related to the resort, or even for Pine Needles for Kelly Miller there. Have you done anything specific to this area?
I'm working on it, yes. We've been in communications. Pinehurst Resort has been very warm, welcoming, and actually we had talked about it even last year. So, approvals take time, and at the same time, I've been extremely busy since I got here. I had a 4-foot by 10-foot painting to create for the University of Alabama's new golf facility. I was going to ask you about that, yeah. Yeah, so in regards to the resort, they could not have been more warm, welcoming, and considerate. We are talking about future projects that I'm really excited about. I've made some great friends. Roger Paramore, the starter, is one of my new great friends. So yes, and that is the University of Alabama's new painting. Yes. So
that's a beautiful facility at University of Alabama. And how long did it take you to do that particular painting?
The project was 18 months, and then the painting time itself was about 200 hours of painting, and I went through gallons and gallons of paint. But if you're considering a Cassy Tully painting, I loved painting large. Like, that this is my magnum opus. This is my largest piece to date, and I worked with Jack Porter and then the University of Alabama and Davis Architect team. Knowing my interior design experience, it was the dream project because we created that painting as I think it's a $49 million facility. The clubhouse was being built. I painted it as the course was being built, which, given my experience with the Ryder Cup and championship work, creating a scene before it's actually taking place. Yeah. That was one of the key reasons that they went with me, was because I was painting it. I could work with the superintendent and everyone to create the painting as the course was coming to life. And yeah, it was a proud moment when it went on the wall.
That's a beautiful painting.
Thank you.
Dan, who's our podcast producer, he was a painter. He went to Savannah College of Art and Design, especially in painting. Dan, any specific question for Cassy, how she paints? I know he painted a mural here in town. Right. He used a lot. You talk about using a lot of paint. Yeah. He used a lot of paint. Any question for Cassy as far as like her painting style and technique?
Yeah, sure. What kind of paint are you using?
Good question. Thank you. I do try and share that because there's a lot of folks that reach out to me that their child or they're interested in art. So I work with specifically Golden brand paint. I just really like their pigments, but then also They're gel mediums that range from, very smooth to very heavy and thick, where I can sculpt the paint. And then they have glass bead gel. So I work with Golden brand paint.
And those are acrylic specifically, right?
Yes, acrylic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
What are your murals with?
Any and everything.
Anything.
Blood, sweat, tears.
That too. That too.
But no, yeah, they're mostly acrylic based. There's some what do you call it? They're acrylic, as close to pure acrylic as I can get. They have some house paint in them, so they have a little
latex.
Latex.
Little bit of latex.
Little bit.
Yeah. So I do love a traditional oil painting. So I'll put a varnish on my paintings at the end to preserve them and saturate the colors, and make it look more like a traditional oil painting, but it is actually acrylic because it dries fast. And I was told in art school, you need to get good and you need to get fast, and then you need to get good and fast. And I'll never say I paint fast, but there are timelines, there are deadlines, and sometimes you got to get it done. So,
how many projects are you working on right now?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I always have a schedule that I keep, and I keep myself out of trouble when I usually have like 5 or 6 things on my easel at one time. So that is about what I have right now.
Right.
Plus Christmas ornaments. I always have Christmas ornaments going. I line them up like little cookies, like a bakery. And then I even use cake decorating tools. And this year's Christmas ornament, the collector edition ornament, is a collaboration with Pine Scone Cafe here. Rayanne Kinney has been very supportive, the owner. And I painted 2 little pine cones. And I have never sold those ornaments so fast as painting a pine cone living outside of Pinehurst. Like, they are just going.
So are they sold out, or how can we still get them?
You can still get them. I'll probably have to bring you guys one.
We might have something to do with the popularity of
Yeah, right. We have our
our
Pine Cone Pathways program that we do every spring.
Sure, where that comes from.
Glass makers from Starworks do 100 glass pine cones.
I've heard of that.
And then a potter, Crystal King, she this past fall for Great Trail State Day.
Okay.
It's a 1-day program. The spring program with the glass pine cones is a 5-week program. And people come from all over 6 states that we know of that come search for those every spring.
Yeah.
But the 1-day program is pottery pine cones. And, and Crystal made 30 handmade pine cones.
Amazing.
So.
Yeah, people have told me, I'm learning as fast as I can. There is such an abundance of amazing things that goes on in this area. And that is one of the first things people will mention to me when I say that I paint these pine cones. And I've even been told, like, you should go hide them in the trees. I'm like, I'm not going to go hide my ornaments in the trees, but maybe we have to have a scavenger hunt.
That's
I don't know.
what we did. It just went viral, and this will be our 3rd year in 2025. And in fact, the town of Cameron is the dewberry capital of the world.
Sure.
So they commissioned Starworks to do, I don't know how many they did, Dan, but they did glass dewberries.
Okay.
Because that is symbolic, and that is the character and the identity of the town of Cameron is the dewberry capital of the world. In fact, somebody just finished, she's an older lady, I think she was like 75 years old. She built or painted the mural as you come into Cameron. It says the dewberry capital of the world. And,
amazing.
Very sweet, kind lady.
This area, one of the things that the Ollendorfs especially told me, as well as the fact that the Veteran Golfers Association headquarters is here, is the sense of community and fun and an activity that people get engaged in here. And it really is. It's an amazing community and an amazing golf community. I mean, there's just so many like-minded people, and people are happy to be here. It's really hard to be sad here.
And, you talk about the golf community, but you have the military community, the healthcare community. There's so many different aspects of life, but golf obviously is our DNA. You mentioned that you had painted in Winchester at a military event in commemoration of Veterans Day. Talk about what the military and service means to you, especially when you come here, when we're just outside the back door of Fort Liberty, Fort Bragg, and all the military people that are active and retired are in this area. What does that mean to you?
Oh my God, without getting choked up. So I come from a very patriotic family. My dad quietly served in the Navy, like most military. He's very humble about it. My grandfather is a World War II veteran, still living, 97.
Wow.
Hi, Howie.
Yeah.
And then I first was living in Destin, Florida, outside of Eglin.
I used to live in Destin.
Yeah, where I woke up one morning, I went from living in the cheese capital to a military neighborhood, and I
Yeah.
was like, wow, there's like gladiators everywhere, and like
And Blue Angels are not very far away in Pensacola.
right, correct. So I'd always had a familiarity with the military, but over the last couple years, I have really come to learn, especially working with the Veteran Golfers Association.
Josh Payton.
Josh Payton,
Yeah.
hello. So the first time I went to a tournament for them, it was the 20th anniversary of September 11th, and I flew into New York for their event at Baltusrol in Plainfield on September 11th, and I was expecting to see veterans that were my grandpa's age, and they were my age. And what I learned quickly is that these veterans that look like us, everyone else, they carry both physical and emotional wounds. And a lot of the testimonials that we will hear and the veterans that I will meet, they will say that they were very depressed and or suicidal. And someone reached out for them to golf that day, and it saved their life. And this is a story that, I mean, I get goosebumps, I hear over and over. And therefore, it's an emphatic yes. Anytime I am able to give to a veteran organization, I do. I also work with Next 18 in Wisconsin. I mean, there's another one that just reached out back home for dog tags for veterans. I mean, service dogs,
Yeah.
anything you can do. But this past weekend at Links to Freedom, the ceremonial component was extremely powerful, meeting the wounded soldiers that have gone through the program, and then knowing that I think I raised enough for 13 veterans to receive the full program. Basically, they are fitted with golf clubs. They work with LPGA and PGA teaching instructors, but then they also receive rehabilitation that helps them get freedom from life-changing injuries and events. So in my mind, is there a potential I maybe help save even one
Yeah.
person? To me, that's a tremendous
worth it.
blessing and worth it, I'm a little tired today. Just got back. But yes, yeah, and especially on Veterans Weekend, it was extremely powerful. So that linkstofreedom.org is the website there to donate. And
What's that website again?
linkstofreedom.org is that one. And this was my first time painting, but their 7th tournament. And Winchester Country Club really went all out and took great care of me. And I had a really special time and look forward to contributing in the future.
Well, we appreciate your work with the veterans and everything they do. My dad served for 26 years, World War II, Korea and Vietnam, and so my brother served for 20 years. I never did. That was probably one of my biggest regrets in life, was not having served. So, but my sister was a nurse in Vietnam, and so saw a lot of very horrific things. So I appreciate everything you do for the veterans.
Yeah. So PGA Reach is a huge partner of mine too. Jack Nicklaus at the National Golf and Wellness Week we did a triple match, but collectively we raised $48,000 for PGA Hope, which is the PGA's philanthropic arm that supports the veteran community. And, it's just amazing to see in the interview that Jack Nicklaus, he was the speaker, what do you call it? Fireside chat? Fireside
right,
chat.
Yeah.
He said that he never had the opportunity to serve in the military. He went right into golf and whatever. So now he tries to serve the community as an ambassador in the best way he can. So, I really think whether we served, or now we're doing our due diligence to, help them receive the honor they deserve. I just, that's what I learned from Jack. So that's what I'm going to do.
I think it's awesome. You mentioned Jack, just another guy, but I mean, absolute legend, arguably the greatest golfer of all time in my mind. Along with Tiger Woods, of course. What is it like to rub elbows with a legend like that? And also, you had an opportunity to work with Mr. Palmer before he passed.
Gosh,
what is it like to kind of spend some time with those guys?
So my dad always told me, if you ever get nervous, just tell him who you are. And so Arnold Palmer actually signed my original painting for the Palmer Cup in 2015, hosted by Rich Harvest Farms, and that was previously my most high I'd ever fundraised. That one went for, I think, $26,000. But when I met him, he said, I was like, "Hello, Mr. Palmer, I'm Cassy Tully. Will you sign the painting?" He says, "You?" I was 10 years ago, so I was a little younger, probably cuter. And he was like, you're the artist? I'll do whatever you want. I was like, okay, that's not what I thought you were going to say. But, and then I think a week or so later, I did meet Jack Nicklaus. He was signing prints for a member guest tournament at Desert Mountain in Scottsdale. And I was like, wow, I've now met Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus in about 2 weeks. I don't think I'm going to wash my painting hand for forever now. So yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I continue to try and use my talent to give back, and I've learned from the best, whether it's Jack Nicklaus, my mentors, great people like you that are willing to reach out and sing my praises. So I just really appreciate it.
Well, you rubbed elbows with great golfers, me not included, and work with veterans. You've got lots of projects going on. We haven't talked. Do you play golf at all?
I do, and I'm getting better. Yeah, I'm getting better by being here. I've had some good friends take me out, and there's such an abundance of golf here. And I would say I wouldn't say better, but in Wisconsin, my golf season was pretty short.
Yeah.
I don't even know, do you say there's a golf season here?
No, but you would play 12 months, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yeah, you do. And I did hit my longest drive the other day, though, on number 6. So that felt pretty good. And I've golfed I've played a few of the Pinehurst courses, and I've seen Forest Creek, went to the driving range there, and if my travel schedule would ever take
Have you played the Cradle?
I have not played the Cradle, but I've spent a fair share of time out there.
All right, Mr. Pashley, Eric Huster, need to get Cassy on the Cradle.
There. Yeah, get Cassy on the Cradle. I really want to barefoot golf. Is it on the Cradle?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you can barefoot golf. They're cranking music. You can drink a transfusion on the Cradle Crossing.
Yes.
All the above.
Yes. Yeah. So
the most fun par 3 golf course in golf.
Have to do it. Yeah. Yes. I want to go. Grab my clubs and let's go.
It would be a great scene for painting too, because the Adirondack chairs are there. You got the landscape of the Cradle. You got the sunsets to the west there. I'm not a painter, but would be a great location for that.
Yeah. And I'm thinking too. It's just been. I've personally and professionally moved, reset up my store, and got through projects. So I've really enjoyed just even being out and taking everything in. And I'm just soaking it up as much as I can. So when those moments come to create the work, I'm so ready. But I have photographed and been out at Pine Needles, Mid Pine, Southern Pine. Okay. So I'm making my rounds. You are making the rounds, yeah. So almost 40 golf courses in the destination, right? And you got to get out to number 10, brand new golf course by Pinehurst Resort. It's spectacular. It was just named one of the top 100 golf courses in the United States by Golf Magazine. So good for them. Let's talk about, you mentioned your studio downtown Aberdeen. What's the address? And you said you're kind of there an appointment. So if people come by, I guess it's kind of hit or miss whether you're going to be there or be open, or where exactly are you located in downtown Aberdeen? The beauty is if I'm in Pinehurst, I'm at my studio quite a bit. So it's 110 North Poplar Street. If you're familiar with the Bakehouse or Mason's, you're heading down there for brunch. I'm next to the piano shop and then the wine shop. Like, what more could you ask for? I can listen to Greg's piano music coming through, and then there's the Village Wine Shop is right next door. So right downtown, you can hear the church bells and the train going by. I mean, it's so charming and peaceful. And I do have my work in Pinehurst Village at Old Sport Gallery. Yeah. Okay. Tom Stewart. Been so welcoming. Yep. So he has my one of my PGA Championship pieces there, and just speaking my words into the village. And in time, potentially, I may either have a gallery space there or whatnot. But in terms of hitting the ground running, getting into the community, and getting in a place where I can create my work. I love my shop.
Of course, we got a U.S. Open coming back here in 2029. Actually, dual U.S. Open, so it'll be men's and women's U.S. Opens in back-to-back weeks, just like we had in 2014. We were talking a little bit before this podcast, U.S. Kids, the 20th anniversary of them being in the Pinehurst area will be this coming summer in 2025. So might have to talk to Dan Van Horn about getting a commemorative work done by Cassy Tully. So
Hi, Dan. Love to work together.
we will make that introduction. We'll see what happens. But we certainly appreciate you being here, being part of the Pinehurst community, choosing this destination. You couldn't have picked a better spot. It is a magical place. It is the home of American golf. You're certainly welcome here anytime. And I'm sure you've seen with our community, everybody we're very welcoming and open arms for you in this community. How can people find out more about Cassy Tully and maybe buy some prints?
Awesome. Great question. So CassyTully.com, and I'm sure you can spell that out for them, is my website. There is an online shop. But then also if something piques your interest, just reach out, my email or, contact me through the website or, a phone call. I'm a perfectly normal person. So I know the custom process is a little unique. Everybody has a specific idea of what they want. So if you see something you like, I've painted courses all over the world. So you can reach out so I can create something in the size and style that works for you. And then LinkedIn is actually my strongest platform. Yeah. Try to be cool on Instagram. That's Cassy Tully Art, I think is my handle. But LinkedIn is where the largest golf community follows me.
Awesome. Well, Cassy Tully, we appreciate you taking time to join us at Paradise in the Pines. And safe travels, happy painting, and we look forward to seeing more and more of your work as the years go by.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to learn more about tourism in Moore County, just go to homeofgolf.com. If you want to watch our videos, go to our YouTube channel, which is Home of American Golf. If you like Paradise in the Pines, tell your friends, download it, watch it, and we'll see you next time.